In this session, we will discuss how Google's AI defenses protects your users and your environment from a variety of external threat vectors across Gmail and Google Workspace. But before we get started, a quick round of introductions. Leading the session today, we have Nick, Head of Corporate Security Engineering from Snap, my colleague Jeroen, a product lead for account security in Workspace, and my name is Anu, a product director for Workspace Safety and Security. To set the context, and given you are here, you probably are very familiar with what's happening in the threat landscape. There's a huge rise in state-sponsored adversaries and commercially motivated ransomware groups. Enterprises now face new security threats more than ever. This is evident by a couple of key stats that I'm showing here. A rise in cybersecurity attacks by 38% year over year, and an even higher 49% increase in ransomware attacks. All of this has meaningful consequences for your businesses, right? With a $4 million on average in data breach costs that organizations are seeing. Now, last but not least, you have heard in the morning's keynote around all the excitement around generative AI and large language models, amplifying creativity and productivity. We are already seeing adversarial uses of large language models as well. Bad actors leveraging LLMs are able to create highly targeted, highly personalized phishing, spam, and scam at scale. So you not only need to deal with the evolving landscape and the rise in threats, you're also seeing tailwinds from adversarial uses of large language models that you need to be prepared for. So you have a tough job. We completely empathize with you, and we'll show more about what are the new things that we are bringing to strengthen our defenses in Gmail and Google Workspace. Now, why are data breach costs continuing to rise? Why are attacks continuing to rise? And this has been the trend for the last 10 plus years. The primary theme here is that most organizations still rely on legacy communication collaboration platforms. And legacy solutions are fundamentally vulnerable and flawed for 5 critical reasons. Number 1, legacy solutions are built from on-premises software. They're not native in cloud. They're not born in the cloud. This means that they're riddled with the same security weaknesses and vulnerabilities from the on-premises software, and thereby making them almost a common universal vector for attacks. Number 2, legacy systems require collaboration and email desktop apps, again riddled with the same security vulnerabilities, macros. And more importantly, these can bleed into cloud and compromise your cloud infrastructure. Legacy architecture allows work emails and files to be stored on end-user devices, which can then be lost, stolen, or compromised. And there are insufficient technical and security operational controls to prevent compromised human or service account access. And this is a theme, if you look at the more recent data breaches, this would be a common theme that you would see in these data breaches. And lastly, despite a huge attack surface, legacy solutions have insufficient default phishing and malware protections available. What that means is you may have to purchase additional SKUs, go through configuration complexity to make sure your environments are protected. If you already have a legacy solution in place, you probably are familiar with some of the challenges that I'm talking about here. So it's not a surprise that bad actors are leveraging and exploiting the weaknesses in the legacy solutions, leaving you, in the IT teams and security teams to deal with the aftermath, and more importantly, putting your businesses, your intellectual property, and your user data at risk. All of these flaws also point to a lack of security culture in organizations using legacy solutions. Now, Google Workspace is architected right, and it matters. One, Google Workspace has always been in the cloud. This means that you get up-to-date security without the need for patching. Google Workspace has browser-based architecture. This means that you don't need email and collaboration desktop apps, nor do we store files and emails on your end user devices. This significantly reduces the risk of data loss and your documents becoming weaponized. Google Workspace's automated AI defenses protect your users through their full lifecycle security. And we'll touch upon this more as we go through this session. Our defense in depth infrastructure is built by top security experts and comes from decades of security learnings and best practices. We have stringent technical and operational controls to prevent accidental or compromised access, be it nation states, commercially motivated ransomware groups, bad actors in general. We have strong controls in place. And then Google network effects. Our automated AI defenses are powered by signals from billions of devices around the planet, which means that we can detect and prevent threats even before they emerge. We'll again touch a little bit upon the power of Google network effects a little bit later in this presentation. Now, all of this delivers actual benefits to you as customers if you are leveraging Workspace as the communication collaboration platform. Based on a report from an independent cyber insurance provider, organizations that chose to go with Workspace saw 50% fewer security incidents. Organizations that chose Gmail as their email solution saw 62% fewer security incidents. And more importantly, these deliver actual cost benefits to you as customers. From a cyber insurance premium perspective, organizations that chose Workspace as their communication collaboration platform saw 50% reduction in cyber insurance premiums. Now, with that context, let's dive a little bit deeper into how Google's automated AI defenses offer full lifecycle security, protecting your environment from a variety of the latest, most advanced cyber threats, protecting the account from the time the user logs in to all the actions that the user or account may take, and helping you investigate, respond, or recover from any threats that you may suspect in the environment. Now let's go into how we protect your environment. Our most advanced artificial intelligence and machine learning models provide strong defenses from adversarial tactics that are trying to infiltrate your environment, preventing bad things from ever reaching your employees. We leverage intelligence from 15 different products serving more than 2 billion people. This is what I called as network effects before. As part of Google, Workspace uses the same capabilities, infrastructures, and signals to detect threats with high-speed processing. Now, email continues to be a way for organizations to communicate and get work done. Therefore, again, it's not a surprise that fraudsters are leveraging this channel as a dominant way of trying to infiltrate your environment. With the power of advanced AI and Google network effects, Gmail is the most secure email solution in the world. This is evident by more than 99.9% of malware, phishing, and spam blocked by Gmail's AI defenses. And Gmail's AI defenses detect and prevent 2 times more malware than third-party standard antivirus products. Not only that, Gmail uses industry-standard phishing protections powered by safe browsing that scans billions of files and URLs on a daily basis. When we look at the message, we not only are following the link within the message, but several layers deep to make sure that there is no trap at the end. We just celebrated Gmail's 20th birthday last week. Our commitment right from the beginning, the early days of Gmail, is to ensure the security of the billions of users and the millions of customers that we have. We know you have a very hard job keeping your environment secure, and we want to do more than our part to make sure that we're contributing to that security. How have we been able to detect and prevent threats at this scale? When you look at bad actors, they're trying to evade detection by posing or looking like synthetic version of good actors. But things don't happen in isolation. When we weed out the bad actors from the good, we are looking at multiple dimensions in the message. The reputation, the IP address, the sender domain, the email address, what activities have they done, what behaviors have they exhibited in the past. Clustering, to look at contents that are similar to this message based on not just the content, but also the features. Thirdly, we perform deep scanning of the content itself, not just the text, the images, the attachments, and the links present in the message. With the power of advanced artificial intelligence and machine learning, and leveraging the spectrum of signals that are available, we ensure that we are detecting and preventing threats even before they emerge. This is our commitment. We've been at it for since the beginning of Gmail. You will see some of the innovations we are bringing to you today. And you can expect us to deliver more innovation so that we are ahead of the adversaries as we head into the future. Gmail uses content classification to detect harmful phishing and spam at scale. One way that bad actors try to evade our detection, our filtering defenses, is by adversarial text manipulations, like the one that I'm showing here. They introduce new letters in the word. They perform neighborhood swap, which is switching letters within the word. They use homoglyphs, keyword stuffing. And the intent with these techniques is to bypass our content filtering defenses. How are we helping to stay ahead, or what are we doing to stay ahead of these type of adversarial tactics? To make text classification robust and efficient, we recently launched a novel multilingual text vectorizer called RETVEC. It stands for Resilient and Efficient Text Vectorizer. To combat this NLP evasion. Gmail, with RETVEC embedded, provides state-of-the-art classification and brings about another 38% reduction in spam. And more importantly, it does so with a significant computational cost, reduction in computational cost, around 83% reduction. The way RETVEC is able to bring these improvements is by sporting a very lightweight embedding model and splitting the computation in a network and memory efficient manner. By the way, as workspace customers, Gmail AI Defenses powered by RETVEC is available to you today. It's available in your environments, providing the defenses against bad actors. Now, another thing that I'm super thrilled to talk to you today about is our new large language model powered AI protections on Gmail. I briefly touched on bad actors leveraging large language models to create highly targeted phishing and spam at scale. Now, abusers can leverage LLMs to create a lot of variety of content, which makes our content classification process challenging. It's not important for us just to understand the syntactic similarity. It's not enough that we understand syntactic similarity alone, which is what content classification does. We also need to be really good at understanding the semantic intent, which is where LLMs come into play. With the power of LLM-based protections in Gmail, we now can protect against adversarial behavior, leveraging the semantic intent that LLMs bring in. What does it mean? LLM-based protections in Gmail is a distilled, fine-tuned large language model that's trained on high-confidence spam samples, and they complement our existing ML models for detection and enforcement. And by the way, this capability is available to all our customers in all our SKUs by default, unlike other legacy providers. When you build your business on Workspace, we are always upgrading your security. I touched upon LLMs being really good at understanding semantic intent. I want to show this with a very simple and almost trivial example. I don't know how many of you think that this is a scammy email that you're seeing. If you can see, this is talking about a great NFT offer, trying to get the user to click on a link, potentially to inject malware or probably trying to take off the personally identifiable information. Here is another example created by LLM. The main difference is small changes in emojis and text. Our LLM-based protections caught this behavior, again, because they understand the semantic intent. The main point of this example is that it's just very easy to use large language models to create a variety of content at scale. We have seen examples of highly targeted phishing attacks representing banks and so forth. So this is a new deluge of attacks coming our way, and we are prepared for it. And we have robust protections against them. At this point, you may be wondering, is it an LLM versus LLM, like a bot versus bot? Are we protecting LLM-based adversarial behaviors with LLM-based protections? And the answer is resounding yes. We do fight fire with fire. Now, concretely, what are the new LLM-based protections on Gmail offer? They offer a further 20% reduction in spam on Gmail. And you've heard a lot about LLM improving productivity. We see evidence of this within our environment. Leveraging LLMs, we are supercharging our human reviews of user-reported spam. We are able to amplify our reviews of user-reported spam by 1000x on a daily basis. Why is that important? Our reviews of any missed spam allows us to get past any blind spots that we may have on newly emerging threats. So we can bolster our defenses by looking at what we missed, and this is where LLMs really supercharge our productivity. We are not stopping short there. We are bringing in new protections for phishing, against phishing attacks. Now, phishing typically exploits areas where humans may make mistakes. They tend to send messages leveraging a popular sender, reputable, trusted sender. In the past, we used to see easy-to-identify flaws, such as sender names that are almost the same as a reputable sender, branding mismatches, typos, suspicious URLs. What we are seeing lately these are the new types of attacks we are seeing. Phishing attacks spoofing your trusted brands, like the example shown here. And the intent is to bypass our reputation filters. They leverage images in the messages that are hosted on externally hosted content sites, again, to bypass our content defenses. And they typically are leveraging brands that may not be on par with industry standard security and authentication standards, like your SPF, DKIM, and DMARC. We are launching brand new AI-powered brand impersonation protections that detect the relationship of text and image to the brand, that detect spoofing attacks even when the content is hosted or the images are hosted on an external content hosting site, enabling a safer and secure, more secure Gmail platform. In this process, we are not only protecting your users, we are also protecting your brands from being part of a reputational damage. I touched on how Gmail detects and prevents 2 times more malware than third-party standard antivirus products. In malware defenses, identifying file types or detecting file types is a notoriously complex problem. In fact, each file may have a different file format or no format at all. This is true for textual formats as well as programming languages. Our security experts tried to solve this problem and launched a new AI-powered model called Magica that performs accurate file type detection in a matter of milliseconds. Under the hood, Magica is a deep learning model that, like I said, performs file type detection in a matter of milliseconds. And performance-wise, Magica outperforms other tools by 20%, allowing us to scan 11% more files and improving our detection accuracy by 50%, further bolstering our malware defenses. Again, this capability is available to all of you as Workspace customers today. Customers of Gmail choose Gmail as their solution and broadly Workspace as their communication collaboration platform because of security. One such example is City of Dearborn. They replaced their legacy solution with Gmail and saw a significant reduction in spam, phishing, and malware reaching their employees. And more importantly, they're able to free up their scarce, highly valuable IT resources for higher impact initiatives. Now, at this point, I touched on how our automated AI defense is our goal. Our mission is to make sure that we honor our commitment to providing the best most secure email solution. You may be wondering, if we have such strong defenses, AI-powered, protecting your environment, why do we need to follow the account and protect your account and offer full lifecycle security? Luckily, I'm going to welcome Jeroen on stage to talk to you all about that.
Thanks, Anu. So my name is Jeroen, and I'm the product lead for the Workspace account security team. And our team is responsible for stopping criminals from breaking into the accounts of your employees. And Anu ended her session with a really great question. Basically, she said, why do we still need to protect the account if we already protect the environment? And we need to do that because there's lots of external factors that still play a big part in account security and in breaking into accounts, such as data breaches or even the human element. And that's why we're now going to go into a number of things we've built over the last years, but also that we are launching to keep your users safe. Password theft remains a strong contributor to account takeover. And it's been growing over the years, especially since with COVID, accounts became a more targeted asset. However, cookie theft is kind of the new kid on the block. And our customers have really been telling us that they're worried about it. And right as you think you're having grip on one of the problems, in this case password theft, a new one shows up. But I'm here today to take you on a journey to tell you what we're doing for our customers to really solve also the cookie theft problem. So let's look at these two things and see what their vulnerabilities are. On the one hand, we have the passwords. And of course, we know that they're susceptible to phishing and data breaches and reuse. On the other hand, we have the cookies, where an attacker would convince one of your employees to download malware and then lift the cookie. But we haven't been sitting still. We've been building defenses over the last years to help you, to protect you from account takeover. On the password side, we've started enforcing two-step verification, or 2SV, or MFA, for all Workspace admin accounts. This is a journey that will take us some time, but it will come to all Workspace admins. And you shouldn't wait for us to do this. You should do it yourself today. All your admins should have 2SV, and if not, it will be enforced in time. We're also making 2SV easier to deploy. Last year, we launched in beta passkeys, which is a new factor you can use with 2SV, and something that's not on the slide, but I'm excited to announce that we're going to remove the requirement of a phone number for 2SV, making it even much easier to turn on 2SV. This will launch, and the last thing I just announced will launch in the next 2 months. But remember those cookies? We've launched something called high-frequency cookie rotation, which periodically changes the cookies of a user for a new one, reducing the chance of a hijacker finding a cookie that still works for them. However, this still leaves a small vulnerability, but that's one that we are about to address. We've been developing in the background a new way to protect session cookies by binding them to the hardware that they were issued on, and then checking for this binding whenever they rotate. This will further reduce the ability for a hijacker to obtain a cookie that still works for them. And as you've come to expect from Google, we're not just keeping this for ourselves, we're sharing this with the world in a standard that we call device-bound session credentials, or DBSC. And you can already look at that standard today by searching on GitHub for DBSC, or by looking at the Chrome blog, where we released an article last week on how this will work. And we're very excited to have Okta, one of our premium partners, be one of the first early adopters to also bind Okta cookies. So your users are going to be protected throughout their day wherever they are. But we don't just stop at protecting the cookies. We want to be with your users during their full life cycle, specifically admins. And therefore, last year, we put into beta a new system or a new feature called multi-party approvals. And multi-party approvals works by requiring one admin that tries to do a sensitive action like removing 2SV to get approval from another admin before it can be done. And this is a really novel approach to PIM, PAM, or just-in-time, where we don't give a big privilege for a long time to a user that also has to be online at that time, but we just give the security bar right around that action. And once it's approved, it gets executed automatically, so the original person doesn't have to come back. So better security and better UX. We've had this in beta for almost since last Next, and now it's starting to roll out to GA for all enterprise customers, protecting 6 actions. So let's see if I can show you how it works. In this screen, you see an admin that turns off 2SV enforcement for a group. And as soon as they hit that save button, they get a pop-up saying, this requires multi-party approval, and they type some reason. They're doing a migration or whatever. And when they save it, it'll be put in a queue, and notifications will be sent. And now we're going to switch to the reviewing admin to see what they see. We start in their email inbox, which is not that clean normally. They view it in the admin console straight away, and there they can see all the details of the request. They can see a clear before and after state, what was changed. They can see who is affected, which OU. They can see who asked it, and much more information. Now, in this case, the reviewer finds it a bit suspicious, and they decide to actually deny this request and go talk to the requester to see why they need to turn this off. Coming to GA, to all enterprise soon. Keep an eye on the Workspace updates blog. But we even go further. There's another line of defense that we don't speak about very often. But it's a very big, very high-performing security system at Google that I feel kind of deserves some attention. And it's called our real-time session evaluation. This is one of the industry's largest identity risk systems in the world. It scans all sensitive events from all of the billions of Google accounts in near real time, looking for known hijacker patterns or extremely anomalous behavior. And when it finds something, it intervenes. For example, in the slide behind me, you can see the yellow dots are mail sends or exporting contacts, which I haven't done since 2007, I think. And then it goes into the red when the user does a filter setup or something like that. And you never notice this. This is like a supercar engine running in the background, keeping all of your employees safe wherever they are all throughout the day. You only notice it when it intervenes, and then you would get an audit log. And this system is included in all SKUs, completely free of charge. So we've talked about the environment. We've talked about the account. But there might be moments where you suspect something is not right. Or you just want to do more than all the things that we give to you by default. The first thing we offer is the Security Center, where you can see notifications for the things that are happening. You can set up alerts and rules. And if you investigate, you can pivot on many dimensions of data to make sure that whatever you suspect is actually OK. And we also understand that data doesn't just exist inside the Google ecosystem. So we give you several options to export it. Also in near real time, for example, to Chronicle, where you get out-of-the-box anomaly detection, or to BigQuery, so you can build upon the data and do even more analysis. So we've talked about protecting the environment. We've talked about protecting the account. and what we do to help you investigate and recover. But now let's hear from a customer. And let's hear how they've been a very, very advanced adopter of workspace features. They've been able to build a robust environment with super high productivity and top-notch security. Please welcome on stage Nick from Snap.
Thank you folks so much for having me here today. Thank you, Jeroen and Anu, for the wonderful product story. I'm Nick with Snap. We are the makers of Snapchat, of course, that's enjoyed by over 400 million people daily. We also make other fun hardware products, such as spectacles that you can wear on your face to take cool photos with. We also have a really unique engineering culture at the company that prioritizes building in-house and having select use of highly curated and very intentionally chosen vendors. And in this case, this is Google. In addition to this, Snap is digitally native. Now, I realize not everybody in the room is digitally native. We're a younger company. We're basically a teenager, founded about 13 years ago. But because we're digitally native, we have the benefits of having started with Workspace at the founding of our company over 13 years ago. And we've continued to advance and grow with Workspace over the years. And a few of the things I'm going to share today will outline what we've done with some of the more advanced capabilities we built on top of Google Workspace over the past few years. Next, I'd like to talk about how these features that Anu and Jeroen talked about provide really foundational table stakes to solve entire areas of concern for our teams to not worry about. The 2SV features, the MFA features, the high-frequency cookie rotation, the risk oracle that Jeroen talked about. This all comes out of the box. We don't have to staff our engineers to go think about how to set these up. And some of our engineers are in the audience here today. It works out of the box. We can focus in on the areas that are more sophisticated that I'll talk about in a minute. But some of the outcomes of this is with the phishing protections provided out of the box and a little bit of help from Proofpoint, we basically have less than 10 phishing interactions to our detection and response team per week. By the way, they're in the room. Fact check that if you guys like after the chat. Also, I'm very happy to share that we've had 0 account takeovers of corporate accounts in over 2 years. It's really powerful, right? This is a whole category of stress and concern that myself and our management team don't have to worry about anymore. And because Chrome is cloud managed with CBCM, we get the benefits of fluid patching, where we can patch the entire fleet, including Chrome browsers and Chromebooks, in days, not weeks. Now, what does this lead to? This leads to freeing up cycles for our security engineers, our builders, to go and build advanced and more sophisticated defenses on top of Google products. And that's what we're going to talk about next. Let me talk to you a little bit about Snap's zero trust architecture. On the left, we have our user cohorts. We have contract workers that largely use Chromebooks. We have knowledge workers and engineers that largely use Windows devices and MacBooks. Then we also have mobile users that are using mobile devices in order to access Snap products. Now, we need a way to infer trust for both the user and the device. And this is where our zero trust device trust architecture comes in that I'll talk to you about next. Next, we have our 2 IDPs. We're actually a 2 IDP company. We have Okta and we have Google IAP. And we also have some integrations with our mobile fleet with Workspace ONE that allows us to import device objects into Google BCE as part of our device trust. Let's click ahead and understand how this works. Snap has built a device trust platform service in-house on top of Yamunan Enterprise, as well as federating with our in-house proxy called SecProxy. We did an article on this with a blog post last year. You could Google for that, check it out from Last Next. We unpacked it in a lot of detail. But with our in-house proxy, we're able to enhance the access attempts from our internal users with additional context and the use of CAA, conditional access approvals, with Beyond Enterprise to make intelligent access decisions in the moment per authentication request. And if the device or the user is not trusted, that authentication request, you guessed it, is denied. This is a very powerful dynamic system that we built. Now, in addition to this, we built an in-house risk oracle that does trust inference, that determines, is the device trusted? Is the device in a patch state? Does it have the minimum security bar that we've set? Have you applied the patches that our IT team who's in the audience here today, thank you for your support, have pushed out to our company. If users fall into an edge case, there's a dashboard they can go to self-remediate. It's called the Device Trust Dashboard. We build all of this on top of BeyondCorp Enterprise to allow users to self-remediate, to reduce help desk interactions, to increase fluidity and increase productivity, as Jeroen talked about. We also have a consolidation layer where we aggregate all device telemetry, all the different versions of daemons that are installed into a singular system that's also used as part of our design in order to ensure we have the highest quality data. And I'm happy to share that our failure rate is very, very small. We maybe have 2 to 3 interactions a week from over 6,000 full-time users and about 5,000 contract users that come to our team asking for support with this control, not working as designed. Now, lastly, what does this all enable? This enables us to provide secure access from both secure trusted users and secure trusted devices to our Google Cloud infrastructure that we use in GCP. Over time, AWS will also be supported, as well as our cloud internal applications that we build in-house and our SaaS applications that we purchase that are Okta-gated. Next, let me talk a little bit about the power of Chrome-based cloud management and some of our data protection efforts. As part of our data protection efforts with CBCM, we're able to reduce over 3,000 risky extensions to less than 150 low and medium risk extensions, and disallowing everything else. Why is that consequential? A Chrome extension is basically a Java application that, depending on the permissions provided to it in the manifest, can observe everything the user does in their browser if it has that permission. What if that's supply chain tampered? What if that's malicious? It can be super consequential. We decided to profile this, and in partnership with our detection and response team, we hardened this usage dramatically. Now we have literally 150 or so Chrome extensions that we allow as a company, reducing that attack surface, powered by CBCM. Thank you guys for building that. Next, we had to make a decision what to do with Gen AI. Wait, did Nick just say Gen AI? How do we make a decision with Gen AI? Do we allow Gen AI? Do we disallow Gen AI? Do we govern Gen AI? And because we enforced use of Chrome at our company, we've decided to govern use of Gen AI by observing how the person is interacting with Gen AI. Are they attempting to transfer sensitive content to Bard, ChatGPT, Gemini, you name it? And if they are attempting to transfer source code, legal documents, financial documents, other consequential data types that we care about as a company, we warn and block on that in browser within Chrome. Natively within Chrome, powered by CBCM, not difficult to set up at all. There's literally a category for generative AI. You select it, you hit save, it just works out of the box. Beautiful thing. Next, I want to talk to you about the fluidity of Chrome-based cloud management with the patching. Again, we can patch our entire fleet of 11,000 Chrome browsers and 3,000 Chromebooks in a couple of days. No more patch Tuesdays. It just kind of works. It's all slipstream. It's incredible. So where does this lead us? As I mentioned, zero account takeovers in over 2+ years, incredible outcome, a whole category of stress we don't have to worry about as customers, low friction, no need for VPNs in order to enable this architecture. During COVID, a near zero effort to transition the company to remote work, near zero. And most importantly for me, as a builder and a manager of a team of builders, our engineering team can focus on higher impact, more novel engineering efforts, such as what we talked to you about our zero trust initiatives, with the table stakes and wonderful controls that are provided by the Google team. Thank you so much. I'm going to pass it over to Jeroen.
Thanks, Nick. Yeah, what makes my heart as the account takeover PM really beat is that you had 0 account takeovers in the last year. It makes me really happy. Thanks for journeying together. So summing up our session today, Google Workspace is built from the ground up with the modern threat landscape in mind, using a lot of learning that we've had with AI and ML over billions of users. You've seen how we protect the environment by deploying ML solutions at scale to protect billions of interactions and users from phishing, spam, malware, and other abuse. You've seen how we protect the account with visible and invisible systems from account takeover. The newest thing we talked about today was device-bound session credentials for DBSC. And you've seen how we've basically have a lot of tools that you can use to investigate when you suspect something. And these solutions don't exist in a vacuum. They don't exist alone. They're part of our bigger zero trust efforts. And this afternoon, there is a session, COL 204, that explains our full zero trust framework. And tomorrow, there is session SEC 220 by my colleague Bhumika, who's here in the audience, that talks about all these export capabilities that you've seen. So there you have it. The data shows Workspace is more secure. We accompany your users, your employees, throughout their day, offering full cycle security that saves you in your cyber insurance and reduces the chance that you will have to file a claim. So join us today in adopting full cycle security. Thank you very much.